And we are back. Welcome to another episode of the Nothing But Football podcast. It was a great weekend. Another 0-0 boring draw between Man United and another team. We'll get right into that, as well as a couple of local games. But let's start with my co-host over here. Lucas, how you doing, dog?
What up? The supporter of Man United. And over to the supporters of other teams.
Mr. Potion, how you doing, dog?
What's up, guys? Hope you guys had a good weekend. Not so interesting weekend in terms of sports for my teams. So, yeah, let's get into it.
All right, let's get right into it. This week, we're going to be starting local. It was the Soweto derby. Interesting game, to say the least. Controversial referee decisions in South Africa, our land. Seems to follow the suit of corruption like the scandals. All right. Let's talk about this game. It was Pirates versus Chiefs. It was a Pirates home game at Orlando Stadium. Bad weather conditions before the game. As we know, it's been raining the whole week. Pirates lost. Pirates won 2-1 to Chiefs.
Potion. Pirates ain't lost for
Did you get a game
against Chiefs?
Did you see how it went? How did you feel about the game?
Yeah, I actually watched the game because I'm a Chiefs supporter, so the derby got me. The energy got me.
Does it hurt?
Hey?
Does it hurt?
Yeah. Well, ever since we lost the league last year to Sundowns, after being in the league for so long.
Top of the table the whole year and lose it right after.
We lost it on the last game, essentially. So, yeah, it doesn't really hurt me, I won't lie. Like, that hurt, like, nothing can go above that hurt. But, yeah, besides that, Chiefs had a lot of opportunities that they failed to capitalize on. I think it would have been a different game, but here we are now. Missing like sitters.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. But yeah, Pirates have been on the rise in terms of their derby performances. Chiefs have failed to win for the last couple of games, so
very diplomatic, huh?
Yeah.
Let me try and give my opinion on the game. I watched the game. First half was rather boring for me. Chiefs missed a lot of sitters over there. Reminiscent of basically every Chiefs Pirates game over the past couple of years, Potion, where Chiefs miss sitters, Pirates punishes. I don't know what's going on with the coaches there by Chiefs, right? But we keep on missing sitters, and then Pirates get one goal and they turn it into two, and then we always end up losing. But another thing that I want to talk about, especially on social media and so forth, people have been talking about the refereeing standard in South Africa. As we know, we don't have VAR in South Africa. Just like, did you guys see the clip of that Amazulu game, I think, with the handball? And
yeah, that was last season.
Yeah. Where the guy actually picked it up and moved it into his path.
Just shoved it in.
And then got a penalty after that. But Lucas, how do you feel about the quality of refereeing in South Africa? Do you think we need VAR in South Africa? Or is it another thing, like just like with all these vaccine scandals over here, corruption reigns supreme, and there's nothing we can do about it at this moment in time?
Yeah, look, I think VAR would be fantastic in South Africa, but do we have the standard of thing to afford the VAR? I don't know.
The richest league in Africa, I say we have to have it with all that TV money they're getting from SuperSport. So you don't.
No, I mean, I'd love to see it. VAR's a good system. If it's even possible to put it into South Africa, yeah, sure. But I doubt it's possible.
Okay. And the quality of finishing in the SA League, do you find it poor? Chiefs miss sitters.
Yeah.
Markovic was the only player who looked here like he's decent and he's from Europe, but our South African counterparts are missing empty nets.
Yeah, it depends on what you compare it to, really, because obviously compared to what we normally watch across Europe, yes, it is poor. Compared to the standard of African football, it actually isn't as high as you'd think it is. Compared to obviously the leagues up north, even the Zambian league, that kind of thing. Compared to that, it's maybe below the standards of Africa. Hence the Champions League. That's a good leveler. There's a lot of those games, and South African teams are just starting to come back into that now.
Yeah. I'd actually disagree with Lucas, purely from a point of view. I'm talking about the VAR. I think VAR is needed in South African football purely because the refs miss. I don't know what's going on with the eyesight, but they miss some clear calls, and I think it's about time that they get VAR. I think it's possible to get VAR because in the country already there's already TV replays that are afforded to refs. I'll give it to you with rugby. It's the same, where they can. I'm sure it's not going to be the same standard like with the TV monitor on the side, but you can have a ref in the earpiece. There's many ways to do it, but yeah, I think VAR is needed in PSL.
Yeah, so don't you think it would still come with problems, right? Because it still has to be a referee that's behind the VAR. It still has thing for human error. So it's nice to put in, but if we watch the Premier League and we're complaining VAR gets it wrong, how do it trickle down to refereeing is not a job out here, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're not going to get that standard.
For Africa's richest league, especially with the sponsorship money they get, they need to improve drastically. That's the way I view it.
Fair enough.
Refs, they're getting a lot of money from Supersport. Stadiums are empty, but Chiefs is still one of the most supported teams in the world. They're one of the richest teams in Africa. But then our league infrastructure is terrible. Any league that has a home game in KwaZulu-Natal for a team that's based in Soweto is asking for trouble. That's the way I view it. Unless, Potion, you have a different opinion over there.
From a ref's point of view, I think it's a shame that there are such stupid errors that are made in South Africa. But I feel like we do have good refs. But the thing is, the difference between the best ref and the worst ref is like vast.
Okay.
We've got some good refs in the country. But I think VAR would work.
Yeah, look, it
very
would only
nicely.
help, right?
Yeah.
It would only help for a better decision. I mean, it's two people looking at it.
Yeah.
But even when we speak about the Soweto derby, we're talking more about the quality of ref than the actual game. But I would like to give a shout out over there to Tumi Kosi Lodge for scoring the goal as well as I forgot Siso Ndlovu and Cardosa for Kaiser Chiefs. So on Pirates side, they had some good finishing. On Chiefs side, poor finishing again led to them losing the game and not taking their chances. Guys, let's move on to our favorite league. 3 match days since we last recorded. Right, let's just run through these results.
Do these players even get to breathe?
And there's more matches tonight, guys. And there's more matches tonight. Can you believe it? Right?
It is that period. This is the make or break. So
okay, so let's start over here. We're starting on Tuesday. All right, just running through the results before we pick and choose which games we think are important and we want to talk about. Pep Guardiola, what's the word I'm looking for? Complimented. Big Sam saying he's a genius, and what happened? They lost 5-0. It was Arsenal Southampton, they won. Leeds beat Newcastle. West Ham Crystal Palace, West Ham won. Sheffield beat United. No more top of the league, dog. How you feel about that?
I'm still okay.
You're still okay? All right, cool, okay. Then Everton, Leicester drew 1-1. Brighton, Fulham 0-0. Thomas Tuchel, first game of the season with Wolves after 2 days.
Yeah.
Drew 0-0. Solid performance over there. Burnley beat Aston Villa. That's a shock result for me. And then we're looking at Spurs losing to Liverpool. Another shock result. And then we're looking at Arsenal, Man United, Man City, Sheffield. And then yesterday's game, Liverpool, West Ham, Chelsea, Burnley, Leicester, Leeds. Right. Where you guys want to kick it off? Which game do you fancy to start it off with? I'll let Lucas decide this game. And you want to start with the Sheffield United game, Lucas?
Yeah, we can. Not a great one. Look, so what, United lost 2-1 to Sheffield United. Not a great performance. Look, bad refereeing definitely has to be said, but that's going to be said in every game. Sheffield United scored a goal when there's a player freaking tackling the goalkeeper and whatever. But penalties aside, those disallowed goals aside, the performance wasn't really that great. I think the team suffered from a bit of overconfidence in the game because they started the game with I don't know, a bit of overconfidence, but I think Sheffield United shut us down with physicality, and the space was on the outside of them, but United's not really that great at playing out wide. So, in the end, bad refereeing cost us points, but we shouldn't have even needed a referee against the bottom team in the league, and it's the second win.
Fair enough. Coach, what are your opinion? Do you think it's they were overconfident, being top of the league, or do you maybe think the squad is not as strong as we think anymore? Martial out of form. Fernandes played, Greenwood played, Marcus Rashford played, Pogba played. What's this? Alex
Tuanzebe.
Basaka played, Telles played, Maguire played, De Gea played.
There was changes to
I'll actually come back to that particular player that you just mentioned now. But in terms of that game, I feel as though Manchester United had a target on their back. They're the number one team. You're going up against the team. I think at the time when they were playing, they were bottom of the league.
They were
bottom of the league, but Sheffield is a pretty good side. I don't know what's going on this season, but they had their struggles. So with a team like that, it's quite a dangerous team to play, because the sleeping giant might just wake up when it's your turn to play against them. Okay. So it seems as though the sleeping giant woke up against you guys. And then reviewing that game, there were quite a number of replacements that came in. Yeah. Alex Tuanzebe, Telles came in, Martial also came in, and I think Matic also.
Matic came in also.
Yes, yeah. Matic came in as a player. Players have to fit in, with the rotation.
Yeah.
And it seems as though it didn't fit in, like that system didn't fit for you guys. Yeah. So it's a shame. But I find it very weird that on social media, they seem to have targeted two players to blame.
The black players again.
Yes, you can take a guess what color they were.
Yeah.
It was Martial and Tuanzebe who were the blame. They blamed them.
Have good performances in the game. And
interestingly enough, it was on over the weekend, Arsenal Man United. Which player did they blame again on social media? It was Marcus Rashford. Yeah. I don't like the gent for finishing, but he's doing stellar work, and he should not be attacked on social media and such things, irrespective of
I'm actually surprised. Why would you blame him when there was a guy who missed 2 sitters in front of goal?
He was one of them.
Edison Cavani missed twice.
Yeah, but we expect that from Cavani. He give him enough chances. He'll score more than he misses.
Yeah.
That's a topic for another.
And I'm not saying this to race. I'm just saying to his performance.
I get you.
I think he was good, but there was a lot of hate for him online. Negativity. Sorry.
Yeah.
So Lucas, let's talk about your ice cold man, Anthony Martial. Is he a player that must stay at United? Does he need to leave? Has he kicked on at United? What has he done for your club since he's got there?
Yeah. Look. So to me, I think that guy is talented, right? On talent alone, he's one of the best players at our club, right? But for me, Edison Cavani plays up front, and you see Edison Cavani chasing down centre backs, chasing down the goal kicks, running back, and also going in front. And that Martial, he tends to stand still. Martial wants to score the same goal every week. He wants to get it on the left. Dribble, top corner finish.
So he thinks it's Thierry Henry, you saying?
No, Thierry Henry he thinks he's Thierry Henry, but he wants to score that goal. Thierry Henry scored 5 times this season. Thierry Henry also scored 25 other different goals.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? So you've mastered one thing, do the rest. And also, interestingly enough, if you watch him play, you never see him on the right-hand side.
Yeah, fair point.
So he cuts off the passing lanes for Bruno. Him and Rashford want to do the same thing, but Rashford is getting 16 goals. He's got 2.
Even when you say that, there was a clip that I saw, I think, against Sheffield as well, when Martial was on the pitch, and then Cavani was running up and down. Martial was in the same spot. Cavani went to the keeper back, ran past Martial, chasing down the ball. So you're saying his work ethic is not enough? Maybe he needs to go to another club where work ethic is not that important.
Well, the thing is it's possible because Solskjaer last year was saying the strikers we have, they're scorer of great goals instead of great goal scorers. So they worked with Martial. He was getting tap-ins last season. He scored 23 goals last season from a striker position. He was a decent striker. This season, it's like he's been now he doesn't know what to do. Okay. So he needs let's see after he scores a goal off his shoulder or something and get some confidence.
Any final comments on the Man United Sheffield game over there, Potion? I was busy laughing my butt off when these guys were busy screaming top of the league for 2 weeks. I wonder what happened to Darren Fletcher and coaching Pogba to track back to stop those goals.
Yeah, but let's be realistic. This was bound to happen with you guys losing in a fashion where you expected to win. There's too much pressure on United. Everyone feels like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to go. So I don't know. I feel like this was bound to happen. One mistake would happen, and then it would implode.
Yeah, and
I wouldn't put it as an implode losing to Sheffield.
I wouldn't even put it as a mistake.
Yeah, they just showed up for you guys.
Yeah, so United concedes goals, right? So he's been rotating the midfield and the attack. Rotation in defense, when your normal defense is conceding goals, now you bring in Tuanzebe, Telles. Luke Shaw's playing the best he's ever played. I can't believe I want him to start over Telles right now, but he's playing the best he's ever played.
Yeah.
Axel Tuanzebe, he was injured last season, blah, blah, blah. Victor Lindelof's got an injury in his back, so he can't play consecutive games. Bailly was injured. He should have still played well, but I mean, it is what it is.
Also, I feel like we must also remember that the next fixture was against Arsenal.
Arsenal, yeah.
So the normal manager will look at the two fixtures and think, hey, I need to rest some of my key players.
Yes.
So I feel as though that's what happened. And
definitely. That's why they didn't risk Lindelof.
Yes. And Solskjaer essentially just,
Okay, so
he lost that gamble.
So what we're basically saying is maybe United squad is not maybe good enough for the title charge on all fronts, especially including cup competitions.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. The thing is right, and everyone's saying the squad is building, young squad. It's building whatever. But I mean,
Young squad.
Yes. Last season we had the youngest average age in the league.
These are experienced players. I get where Potion is.
No, from this season now we've gotten Cavani and Telles or whatever to shoot our average up.
I'm even talking on the front of, let's say, Rashford. He's been playing for a while.
Yes, he's been playing for a while, but he's still young.
Yeah, he's young, but you expect better from him. He's a seasoned professional now.
Yes. So that's to my point. I'm not giving that bail. I'm saying this season is a season like Leicester when Leicester won the league. Everyone's saying this team will get stronger for next season, but listen, Man City needs one striker. Liverpool needs one defender. Next season is a whole other kettle of fish. We need however many players. So this season, if you're not doing right...
Can we please not act like this season you guys have completely neglected some of your young squad players that you had last season? So I think...
Like who?
I think saying, leaning on that young squad thing is unnecessary for you, from your point of view.
I'll give him some bail because he was talking about last season.
No. I'll say that, but he's essentially saying that they had a young squad last season, and then this season, now that young squad is building. McTominay is not playing as much as he used to. Daniel James is not playing as much as he used to. Brandon Williams is not playing as much as he used to. I could go on the list.
Yeah, but I could also tell you those guys were never starting 11. Wow.
They did.
McTominay is starting 11 this season.
For a majority of last season's games, Brandon Williams started.
No.
Because Luke Shaw was injured. Last season, Luke Shaw was injured.
Oh, yes.
And he came out, yes.
Yeah, but he was second choice.
But when
Luke Shaw was fit, he started.
But nonetheless, that guy's not he hasn't made an appearance this season.
Okay, and then let's go on to the next team over here, move away from Man United to the other Manchester club that hit West Brom after he called my favorite manager, Big Sam, genius, 5-0. Man City with the good young players over there, such as Foden. Don't you wish you had players like that in your squad right now, Lucas? And how did you rate the performance of the Man City 5-0 to West Brom?
Yeah, I think definitely who wouldn't want to play like Foden in their team. City's playing well, and City's, I think, all in all, that's 12 wins straight in all competitions, probably about 7 or 8 in the league.
Yeah.
And I lost in a long time.
They haven't dropped points in a long time. And over the last couple of seasons when they won the league, it was how many consecutive wins in a row? Remember when it was them and Liverpool changed the consecutive wins, sorry. So City's good and they've got the pedigree for this.
Okay. Potion, any quick comments on the City game? Just want to get rid of the midweek games quickly so we can get to the crunching fixtures of Liverpool, Tottenham and Arsenal, Man United.
I'm just laughing in my head because many people knew once that compliment was given. There's a target on Sam Allardyce's head where he's essentially saying, no, he's a genius of a manager. That's when everyone knew that, Pep was going to go and
give him hands.
Yeah. But looking at this game, we all expected something of the sorts from City. Been in fine form. Gundogan, standout performance for me.
Yes.
But yeah, essentially everyone in that team did their job.
In the absence of De Bruyne. De Bruyne got injured, eh?
De Bruyne, yes, in that game, De Bruyne was injured. Played with no striker.
Yeah.
And who else? I think, that was about it. It was a team effort from City, if you look at it.
Let's stick to Wednesday over there. Thomas Tuchel's first game in charge of Chelsea. How would you rate that performance, Potion? Didn't have much time with the squad, so what did you take from the squad selection? I'd say more often, because when you look at that squad selection, I watched a bit of that game. Thomas Hudson-Odoi had a decent game over there, right? And then when we're looking at that lineup, it's Mendy. The players that he's basically frozen out, Frank Lampard started to play, which would be Antonio Rudiger.
Yeah.
Okay, Thiago Silva started. Cesar Azpilicueta started. Jorginho came back into the team. Kovacic, Hudson-Odoi played. That was a favorite of Frank Lampard. Ben Chilwell played as well. Giroud started the game. Ziyech started the game. And Kai Havertz started the game. Let's just start with how you rate some of those players' performances. My favorite player of that game was Odoi. Did look like a decent player over there. Can't say much about any of the other players.
I think before the game, Thomas Tuchel essentially mentioned that, with picking this team, he was going to pick it from a perspective from players who've experienced, the manager change. And I think, obviously he's familiar with certain players, i.e. the German players and the players who...
Thiago Silva as well at PSG.
Thiago Silva, essentially players that he's had his eye on. But the Chelsea players, essentially, he was saying, guys, nothing personal. I'm just picking a team that knows how to essentially adapt quickly. With that game, Wolves is a tough opponent.
Very.
You can't take it away from them. It was just them finding their ground. So I think a 0-0 was a fair result for a new coach. Looking at their shots, Chelsea actually did have quite a lot of shots. They had 14 shots and 5 on target, and with a majority of the possession, 78 to be specific. If you look at that, I think it's a transformation in the game that Chelsea is going to be playing.
Yeah,
Thomas Tuchel seems to be going for the possession game. It should be interesting to see how Chelsea will fare. But yeah, it's also, you must also remember that this is the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
You just started dating your new girlfriend now.
Yeah, he had one training session then this game.
Yeah.
So he described it as the most unfair team selection he's ever picked in his career.
Yeah.
Because they asked him why didn't Mason Mount start? Remember, he's been starting on the game. So he's like, I don't have a good reason. I just picked players that have probably seen this in their career.
Yeah.
He's not, apart from Thiago Silva, he's not worked with any of the squad. He even said he put Christian Pulisic on the bench because at least he knows what he brings to a game. He said the rest I'd even be taking a guess with the bench. Right? So I think now, despite that, I think they had a good performance in that game too, funny enough, for a 0-0. Wolves defended very well, as Wolves do. Chelsea didn't break them down. It wasn't a 0-0 that should have been a 1-0. It was a definite even 0-0. But good. I mean, lots of possession. They just couldn't break Chelsea down. Wolves down.
But
one more point. Timo Werner for some reason still sucks. I don't know what's going on. But I think Tuchel mentioned that he's just saying that this guy's confidence is at an all-time low because he missed a couple of opportunities and then people just jumped on his back. So
okay, fair enough. But Lucas, let me ask you: do you think that Wolves are actually missing Jimenez this season? He's been out since that horrific head injury with David Luiz back in December, if I'm not mistaken, the game. Do you think that's the key that Wolves are missing, and that's why they may be getting more draws than wins right now?
I think definitely Jimenez is a consistent performer in the league for a club in that level. Missing Jimenez is definitely. But then they've also changed formation. Wolves was generally a 5-3-2 or 5-4-1. Now they've gone with a 4 at the back. There's different players and Pedro Neto, all of that kind of thing. But definitely you'll miss Jimenez. I mean, Traore runs and crosses. Jimenez scores the header. We've seen that goal. Many times.
Right. And then let's just go over the result of the Wednesday games. The other games was Burnley 3-2. That was a shock result for me.
Against
Aston Villa. Beat high-flying Aston Villa. Yeah. Lost 3-2. It was a high-scoring game. Burnley don't have too many of those.
I'd just like to formally announce that I will be stopping calling Burnley White Lives FC because they've officially signed a black player.
How?
So
started the game.
I'm retiring the game. He came on as a substitute in, I think, the last game that they played. So I will officially stop calling them that. I'm sorry, Burnley. You guys you clearly kicked me in the chest. I'm going to sit down now.
All right. That was a game of mostly second half goals. It was, just to wrap it up, Aston Villa went up in the first half via Ollie Watkins 1-0. And then second half, it was Benny who equalized. Jack Grealish scored. Jack Grealish having a phenomenal season again. Do you guys think he maybe deserves the top 4 club now? He needs to leave even though he signed that new contract?
Absolutely not. He must stay where he is.
He must stay where he is, you believe?
He must stay where he is.
Would you take him at United, Lucas?
I think he's good enough to play at a bigger team, United included. I would just wonder about his style, right? Because he plays really well for Aston Villa, right? But Aston Villa's game is a lot of fouls, free kicks, get the ball up there, and then he plays. So when there's a whole build up and he's coming to touch or whatever, I don't know how he's going to play. But on what he's doing, he looks like he could.
I think let me elaborate on what I mean by saying that he must stay where he is. We've seen this movie before.
Wilfred Zaha.
We've seen this movie before where a player who...
Wilfred was 18.
Yeah, Wilfred was 18. We've seen this movie before where a player's playing well at a lower side team and then he decides to make the big move and it doesn't work out. Best advice I'd offer, what's his name? Grealish. How little my knowledge is of these situations. Is that he must just stay where he is. He can become a legend at Aston Villa. Aston Villa is also a good project. Like they seem to be heading in a direction that's positive. So he must just stay there.
That's the Scott Parker story. Hey, where was Scott Parker a legend before Chelsea? Was it Fulham?
West Ham, I think.
Fulham. West Ham. Somewhere there. Scott Parker was Fulham. Scott Parker was Fulham back in the day.
That's why
he went to Chelsea.
That's why
he on their bench.
That's why he came
right back to the Lords.
Yeah.
No, he went to. Didn't he go to Tottenham?
No.
I think maybe after Chelsea, but he was a Mourinho signing at Chelsea. Yeah.
Okay. And then let's just wrap up the other results. Leicester versus Everton 1-1. Brighton Fulham. I don't see us getting into that. And then Tuesday, Leeds, our team of the season, underdog, beat Newcastle 2-1. Wasn't unexpected, I'd say.
Who's team of the season?
Our second team of the season, should I say? All of us. Don't you watch Leeds for fun?
I don't care about Leeds.
You're not supporting Patrick Bamford and the boys.
Yeah, just watch for goals.
Well, now that he's getting points for fantasy, I think I must jump on that train. But
okay, I was wrong over there. Okay, is your team of the season West Ham then? Because they went to beat Crystal Palace 3-2.
Of course, that's my boy, Thomas Suchek.
Yes.
Okay, cool, fair enough. And then
the white feline.
Right, then
the hairless feline.
He actually is.
Right, then let's just get into the Tuesday game, which will be the last one. Arsenal beat Southampton 3-1 after losing to them in the FA Cup. It was Stuart Armstrong who scored in the 3rd minute. Nicolas Pepe equalized in the 8th minute, and then Saka scored in the 39th, and then we rounded off with the 72nd minute winner by Alexander Lacazette. Potion, how did you feel about that performance? Especially in noting that Aubameyang didn't play. Pepe seemed to have a good game. Do you think that the players he's being surrounded now are better compared to when he was giving poor performances when he was coming in and out the team?
I think Pepe had a good game. I think they played him on the right this time, and he didn't have to accommodate Willian, who they seem to like putting on the right. I don't know why they put him on the right. Okay. I think in that game the coach opted not to start Willian, and it seemed to have it worked out. Pepe looked alive in that game, as he has been over the past couple of games. We missed Aubameyang, but I think even before this, Aubameyang wasn't really scoring many goals, so it was basically just let the show go on. Other players were putting in the effort, so good performance. The goal from Southampton, that was just unlucky because it was a brilliant goal. There's nothing we could have done about that. Perfectly timed half volley. Another person that I'd actually like to point out in the Arsenal squad is Cedric Soares. Had a great game as well.
Great game at left back for me.
Against Southampton?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. He played left back.
Yeah, not the next one.
Yeah.
I see you got some burning comments you want to talk about.
No, it's just like we were targeting him. So
No. I get you.
But right back playing left back, so I won't really complain too much about it. Yeah. Lucas. Your comment on the game on Southampton versus Arsenal.
So I was actually impressed by Arsenal in this game. I think because obviously Arsenal's turn of fortune came with Emile Smith Rowe, right? So this game it was actually interesting to see, because I don't think this game was Smith Rowe dependent.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if that makes sense compared to the other game.
Yeah.
So I think Saka's been jamming all season, but again he showed me good things. Arsenal defensively good. It was actually good. It was actually good to watch.
Saka has been jamming.
It impressed me.
Another player to bring back, Thomas Partey. Marvelous performance.
Yes.
Better performance in the Southampton game than the Man Utd game, obviously, but we'll get into that over there.
No, but definitely you see what he's bringing to that Arsenal midfield.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring a lot of balance.
Then let's go on to title-threatening Tottenham Hotspurs over there, who went on to go play Liverpool on Thursday evening. Right. Let's just look at some stats in this game. When you're looking at match stats, possession pretty even, 50-49. Shots 7-2 towards Liverpool. Shots on target 7-2. Shots in total 14-3. And then Tottenham had more tackles, more clearances, 3 corners in the game, 4 yellow cards. That's pretty much it. Lucas, your thoughts on your other team that are title winning material over there.
I think they lost this game hands down. Right? I think they did some things in the game. I think they had some chances in that, but I never got a feeling that Liverpool would lose this game. Sometimes we're watching a game and you're like, this team is on top. So I never really felt like Spurs was on top. I think Mourinho changed that formation, went even more defensive, brought in Ben Davies to make a 5 at the back. I'm not sure if Sissoko didn't play or if Sissoko played at right back, but he definitely wasn't in the middle. It was Harry Winks and Højbjerg, I think, in the middle.
Oh, no, Sissoko didn't play in that game.
Sissoko didn't play, And I think Harry Kane went off at halftime, got injured at halftime. So from there also already first half, Liverpool took them. Liverpool was ready. Exactly like we've said here, take out Kane. Guess what? The second half, nothing.
But how did you rate Liverpool's chances before the game, Portion? I'll ask.
For me, to tell you the truth, I actually thought that Tottenham would win this game. I thought they were unlucky to lose the first game due to chances missed. And if you look at that game, there was an offside call where Harry Kane put Son through, and I think it was just an arm or something like that, and they didn't let it through. It was a very, very close call. And then I think things changed from there. Well, besides Harry Kane getting injured, and everyone realizing that Tottenham's nothing without Kane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think.
But Liverpool were very strong also.
No, Liverpool were very strong. Once I think that offside call in the beginning kind of woke them up to realize who are they facing.
And I think they're figuring out how to use Thiago. Thiago wasn't in that deep lying number 6 in the middle of the centre backs. He was moved out a little bit to the side.
Pushing up.
Who was getting the ball? Milner was actually brought in to come get in the ball from deep, and that's so he was quite effective.
Okay, and then let's talk about that Harry Kane injury. He was doing what he loves to do, to buy fouls over there, but Henderson outsmarted him.
Yes.
That whole tactic where he tries to back into the defender, looks at him, and then
essentially
as
when
the defender's jumping,
The Lacazette.
but Lacazette does it with class. He's French,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
I
get you. Sorry, I associate that with Lacazette. Obviously, you associate it with Kane.
No, the thing is, Lacazette backs up without looking. Kane literally turns around and looks at you to see where you are and backs into you. So,
So then what happened over there is Milner saw him looking. Henderson, sorry. Smart play from Henderson. I have to say sorry to Jordan Henderson, guys. He does seem like a quality player. They moved him to centre back, and that's
Still jamming.
jamming. So
hold on. Are you giving him credit because he injured Harry Kane?
of course,
Is this the only reason?
see, it's two players that don't like who I think I'm gonna go. Man is not a sports supporter, right? But
I had to sit back and think about
The one
that
who
for a
injured
second.
his first chances.
right? But when you look at it, Harry Kane does look at Jordan Henderson, tries to back into him, but Henderson, smartly enough, looks at him and then shifts his body weight onto his other leg so there's no contact. And then as Kane is trying to back into him, does his ankle in, I think. It was an ankle injury, if I'm not mistaken. How do you feel do you think that's smart play from Harry Kane, considering he looks at the defender?
Looks like you were watching this a lot.
I hate that tactic.
Was this your sweet dreams or something? You played those moments out quite specifically.
This was, to me, deserving to the player because he does look at defenders before they jump and he buys a foul. And then, to me, that's a very dangerous tactic, especially if you are looking at it, because if the defender lands wrong after jumping over you, you could get a broken neck. I know I'm exaggerating over here, but that's where it could lead to. And then I feel a lot of pundits were giving him a break because he's English, where if it was another foreign player, it would have been like, that's dirty tactics. But to Harry Kane, that's smart tactics.
I don't even remember what I had for breakfast. This man remembers what happened last week Thursday in such detail.
So, Lucas, how do you feel about that tactic that Harry Kane does? And after that, depending on how long Harry Kane is out for, how do you rate Tottenham's chances now?
Yeah. So to that tactic, I think it's to the essence of the league. This is a long ball league. This is a league where Andy Carroll to his chest, Glenn Murray to his chest. It's a league where that happens and that is done. It's a back to front league. So him doing that, if he doesn't do that, the defenders also play in this league. They can also crash. It's as much as the other. So to me, it changes the essence of the league to have an issue with that.
The difference I feel is when Andy Carroll does that, he's looking to get the ball. Kane is never looking to get the ball. He's looking to get a foul.
Sure, but what I'm saying is then there's a Kane, the essence of the league. Torre Andre Flo used to elbow people on the way. You know what I mean? It's the essence of the league. It's like, then don't make the English league physical. There's tackles all the time, more than any other. So I don't really have a problem with it. But injury to Kane, outside of Kane and Son, I think we've said before, there's no goals. So Mourinho also said he won't play Bale as a number 9. So we'll have to see what this Carlos, whatever. The next game we played Bergwijn through the middle, and I think they lost again, or they drew or something. So
Don't spoil the surprises yet.
Outside of goals.
Parting comments on the Spurs game. I'd like to say that the Oracle Chris was right. With Spurs title chances, as soon as Harry Kane is out the team, must get that team out the league. Because now, where's that league table? Let me look at it. It's a beautiful sight to look at right now. because Tottenham threatening league title winning Tottenham over there are only 2 points above Arsenal with the game in hand. How do you feel about it? Do you think they're going to stay in 6th position? Do you see them dropping depending on how long Kane is out for?
Tottenham's in 6th.
In 6th on 33 points. Arsenal is in 10th on 31 points, but Tottenham do have a game in hand.
No, well,
that doesn't count until you play the game and win it. But yeah, I think from my point of view, Tottenham's next game will be quite important for them. It's very unfortunate that they're playing against Chelsea, but that's going to be a tough taste. I think that's a great time to actually show that, you know, Harry Kane being injured is not like basically the end of the road for you guys. You guys still have something to offer without, you know, your top goal scorer.
Tottenham lose that will be 3 L's in a row. 3 back-to-back losses.
That's Tottenham. That's Tottenham doing Tottenham things. I'm not surprised. But speaking of people who let you down, Arsenal is playing against Wolves next, I think.
Yeah, tonight.
Yes.
After we're done recording.
Yes, it is tonight. So I think that's also quite a vital game for them. With them letting go of so many players, it's interesting to see what's going to happen. Wolves also strong side. They've signed William Jose from Real Sociedad in place. Well, not in place, but essentially to hold the hole that's been left by Raul Jimenez. I think he started his first game against Chelsea, so it'll be interesting to see how he manages against Arsenal.
Okay, Lucas, any final parting comments on Tottenham?
No, I think it's just a case of let's see what they do without Kane, because if you're that defensive, you have to have lethal strikers up front.
Never mind.
We know.
I'll bring it up later. Don't worry.
We know.
Okay. Speaking of another former Mourinho club, which does play boring football, let's go on to Saturday's game: Man United versus Arsenal. Another 0-0 draw against top 6 opposition.
It's boring at the top of the league.
It's boring when you're falling down the league.
Come find out. Yeah, but it's fine. We were there. We bought the ticket.
We were also there at one stage. We bought the ticket. We'll see you at the bottom of the league. No, we were top earlier before you in the season.
On alphabetical, because your name starts before 0 games are played.
Third game of the season. We stayed on top of the league as long as you stayed on top of the league.
Okay.
2 weeks at a time, huh?
Okay.
31 titles over there. Let's talk about that game.
Fair enough.
All right. Just looking some stats into the game. United had more possession. All right. Just to give some context into this game, Arsenal were missing 3 players. It was Tierney, Abu, and Saka. Saka due to a hip injury. And then Abu was out the country, I believe, because his mother was sick.
Yeah.
And then Tierney is still a bit injured. United, I'll say, with full strength squad.
Pretty much.
All right. How do you look
Shame on the people who said he missed the games because he had side chick problems. There were those rumors. Shame on you guys.
Never put a black man down like that. Yeah, I'll face a black man out there. Right? Let's just look into some of the stats. United had more touches of the ball. United had more passes of the ball. Arsenal had more tackles. Arsenal had more clearances. United had more corners. United had more offsides. United conceded more fouls.
Boring United, huh?
You're very boring.
From those stats.
Very boring. Because
United had more everything. Boring United. Huh?
What does possession? You had more everything besides shots.
Hey?
You had more everything besides shots at goal.
Besides general shots, but on target it's the same.
It's the same, but yeah, you had more everything besides shots.
Fair enough.
So, Lucas, how did you view that game? Was it I don't know what to say. It was a boring game to me. But how did you view that game?
Look, I didn't think it was a boring game. I thought it was an interesting game. But I thought the game was very even. I honestly think both sides would be happy with what their team did. Both sides would feel like their team should have won. Both sides will feel like their team should have defended better. From a United perspective, I think United took control of the game at certain points in the game, but also completely gave up control at different points of the game. Where Arsenal's involved, the draw is a fair result, but is it the best result? I don't know. I'm happy with it.
Do you view
I'm
it
happy
as
with it. It's an on from Arsenal.
Even though Rashford missed some opportunities where he should have shot but didn't shoot. Cavani missed 2 chances. The second one was a bit harder, I would say. The first one, you could put away. But do you think his finishing will get better? Or do you believe they just need to keep on getting the ball to Cavani to score those chances?
Look, I think Cavani is important, but he scored 4 goals. You know, as much as we're going on about Cavani. Look, he hasn't played that much. He scored 4 good goals or whatever. So it's cool. And him starting more, he'll definitely get more goals. Rashford has gotten 16 goals. I think the problem was he runs by himself and then he doesn't see a pass or whatever.
Runs with his head down, you're basically saying.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that if you're going to get me 20 plus goals in a season, which is close to doing from the wing. So I'm okay with that.
Okay, cool. But don't you feel that takes away chances from your main striker if he's on the wing, looking down, not looking for the pass, even though he's getting 20 goals?
No, I think we should create chances for him too. I don't think it's Rashford's responsibility. Rashford doesn't need to be the goal scorer and the provider. I think other players need to step up also. Rashford is scoring. If he provides 2, that's great. That makes him better. It's the rest of the team needs to come. It's not his fault.
Okay,
it's not him.
You can't say that maybe he's just looking down and trying to take on too much pressure on that game.
I say 16 goals. I'm happy.
Okay, fair enough.
So far, half the season. I'm happy.
Let's move on to you over there. Arsenal missed 3 of arguably the best players of the season. Are we happier than United to get that draw? Considering we were missing Abu, Saka and Tierney. And how did you rate the performance because of that?
To tell you the truth, watching that game, I feel like getting a draw, we were very lucky. There was the chance by Fred that came from a corner early on in the game where Lena had to make a brilliant save where I felt like, okay,
keeper's doing what keeper's doing.
Yeah, he's been playing well.
Yeah, in the words of Oli, you're allowed to have a great keeper.
Yeah. From there, Rashford had an opportunity where he missed. In all fairness, he decided to try control the ball instead of shooting it first time.
Yeah.
And then it just ran away from him. And then there was an opportunity from Cavani where he essentially missed an open goal.
Yeah.
I think if you're an Arsenal supporter, you realize that you're very lucky to get a draw from that game. Swallow your pride. Like we're very lucky to get a draw. Although we did also have some opportunities.
Yeah.
But I think we missed a lot of players. Our captain, we missed Tierney. We also missed Gabriel in the defense. Although Rob Holding actually had a pretty great game. David Luiz, I'm quite suspect of.
From that game also, or just in general?
No, from that game. Even though I think, did he get a man of the match performance?
Yeah.
I didn't feel like he deserved the man of the match performance from that. I think it should have been given to our goalkeeper.
But then at the same time, how would you rate some of the players that came in? Pepe came in, had 2 shots blocked. I think he had 2 just near post moves. And defensively, he's putting in the shift now. He's cutting in the balls. When the keeper plays that long kick, he's the one to win the header more often than not. So that in the Southampton and the Man United game. How would you rate his improvement in performance?
I think Pepe's performances have been pretty good over the past couple of games. He played pretty well. He was our main threat from that game. I think Gabriel Martinelli had a pretty good spell when he was on the pitch.
Good defensive block from him when Rashford almost had a clear on chance on goal. When he came last minute.
Yes, he had an overall great performance, but then he came off half time for no one. It seems as though we played with 10 men.
Don't you think Willian played good in that second half?
He played alright.
Better than Martinelli going forward. What did Martinelli do going forward? Wan-Bissaka, who was he up against? He was owned in the first half.
To tell you the truth, I think
his highlight was going backwards.
I hear you on that, but I still rather have Martinelli in my team.
Yes.
The second half comes with Willian's energy through the middle.
we just don't like Willian. That's what we said. That man has disappointed us one too many times. And he's like the girlfriend who takes back the cheating boyfriend time after time. I can't have any more hope of him not changing. He's not going to change. He bought me flowers today. So what?
And then
pushing you saying.
Another player who we got to see a glimpse of was Martin Udegaard.
12 minutes on the pitch.
Yes, he got 12 minutes. No, not 12. He got 9. All adding extra time as well. But yeah, it was a little glimpse of his playing style. I liked it. He seems as though he's a player with, an air of creativity. Also, he didn't get much shots, but from previous games that I've seen from him in La Liga, he seems as though he's got a shot on him, so he might add on something. It was interesting to see that our coach actually brought him in this match instead of maybe like giving him some time to train, which also shows that he might have faith in his gameplay. But yeah, let's see what happens for Arsenal.
Sure. And then before we move on, how did you guys rate Thomas Partey's game? He came out on social media and said it wasn't the best game that he's ever had. He will have better games. He's still a solid signing for Arsenal, but how did you rate that performance he gave in his match? Because he gave the ball away a couple of times.
Very good. I think he gave the ball away a couple of times, but it was a very fast game. I think both teams gave the ball away quite a bit. But Thomas Partey, I think he was strong in that position. I think the physicality adds to the Arsenal team, which is Arteta is taking the team a bit physical through the core. So I think his physicality was very important, just like in the first game, actually, when Arsenal beat United. He actually roughed up the midfield quite a bit. You don't take the ball off him. You don't get around him. That kind of thing. He's strong enough to... Hey?
Signs of Patrick Vieira, basically.
Yo, that strong comparison. Look, it's only a couple of games in. I'm not going to go that far. This could also be signs of Sissoko when he was at Newcastle. Also, you know what I mean? Let's let him get to 5 starts. You know what I mean?
I'd say... I viewed it as a player who's harsh on himself. It gives me a little like a positive sign, as in this guy knows what he has to offer. He knows what he's capable of, and he's harsh on himself. I wouldn't have said that that's a bad game from him, but it's nice to know that he's critical of himself. He knows the areas where he can improve from. He wants to have that perfect game.
Let's quickly wrap up the Saturday games. Shock of the weekend. Newcastle beat Everton 2-0 with goals from, let me check over here.
Wilson.
Callum Wilson. Penalty. Oh, he didn't score a penalty. It was 2 goals. 73rd and 93rd minutes. Shock result for you with Steve Bruce's job basically on the line because the Newcastle fans don't rate him that much. How do you rate his job at Newcastle? Do you take the same view as the Newcastle fans that he's not doing a good enough job? We want attacking play like West Ham wanted attacking play and got relegated? Or he's doing a good job, they must be happy with what they got?
They must be happy with what they got. Andy Carroll is still the main guy there. Callum Wilson, yes, but he got relegated with Bournemouth last season. Jeff Hendrick came from Burnley. Like, come on.
Ryan Fraser came from Bournemouth.
Yeah.
For me, I'll summarize what I have to say, but Newcastle is a very interesting model because a couple of seasons ago they had Rafa Benitez, who did pretty well for them. But Rafa...
Was his football different? Was his football different to this guy?
Can you let me make my point? Thank you. Rafa was actually had a great season. Well, not a great season, great relative to Newcastle. And then he had plans of essentially building up the core of Newcastle. Essentially making sure that they've got good training facilities, a good facility for youngsters to come out and grow from the Newcastle system. They refused his proposal, and essentially he said, if you're not going to do that, then I'm going to leave. They decided, they want to make the catchy signings, which they did. And if you look now, you can't even remember half of those catchy signings. I mean, they've got Saint Maximilian, who came 2 seasons ago. He was a big money signing. Essentially, they decided that now we can avoid not having a strong base, and we just sign big name players. Okay. And then they went for Steve Bruce. Those problems are coming out now. You can clearly see that there's, if the big players get injured, what happens now?
Okay, fair enough. I think you're a bit harsh on St. Maximilian over there because he seems to be Newcastle's shining light. When Newcastle were winning earlier in the season, he was everything. Then he got COVID. And just like Pogba and other players, they were saying that he's struggling to get back to full fitness due to COVID. All right?
Okay.
But let's move on to some of the other games. Man City beat Sheffield 1-0. Seemed to be a tough game for Man City over there. Doing a better job than the United counterparts and actually beating bottom of the league Sheffield. Lucas, rate their chances of winning the league now.
Yeah, so their chances are very strong, right? Sheffield United, as much as they're bottom of the league, losing games or whatever, I don't think they've been beaten by more than a goal. Like, they're always in the games. They always give you a tough game. It is relatively unlucky, their points collected. But that being said, again, City is durable. City, that's 12 wins in a row, all competitions. When it's a game to play football, to put you away 5-0, West Brom, they're winning that game. When it's a game to be physical, Sheffield United, they're winning that game. When it's they've got clubs for the green or whatever. So I think it's a very good win for City. It's a very good win, not necessarily performance, because I think they scored early and Sheffield give you a tough
minute. Scored in the 9th minute.
In the 9th minute, yeah. And Sheffield give you a tough game, but other than that, that's 12 in a row. When did De Bruyne get injured? They're still doing it. You know what I mean? They've got a club, they've got a team for this.
So you feel that City's strong defensive performance, which shows by them being the best defenders in the league, only above Arsenal.
Yeah, I think the Portuguese boy at defense is best signing of the season. Signing of the season.
Okay, fair enough. And Potion, how did you view that game?
In my opinion,
did you enjoy it?
Defensive signing?
No, overall, total.
Huh. All right, let's carry on.
Let's go on to the next game, right? We basically wrapped up those games on Saturday. Sunday, we go back to Liverpool, Chelsea, Burnley. All right, 2-0. He had more training sessions. Now let's rate Thomas Tuchel's management performance. Again, he played Callum Hudson-Odoi, but he played him in 2 different roles, basically, which shows the football intelligence of Hudson-Odoi for me. And then the people who scored the goals. Azpilicueta and the man who was frozen out the squad by Frank Lampard, Marcus Alonso. Was it terrible management by Frank Lampard on this team? Or is Thomas Tuchel just doing a better job of getting the best out of his players?
I'll just say that this is the honeymoon period. The players who were shunned out of the team essentially are doing a good job, i.e. Marcus Alonso. And Azpilicueta actually from if you actually look at it, because they've chosen Reece James over him, so it seems as though the players who've been shunned and put in the corner now obviously they're trying to fight for their place.
Even when you're looking at the starting lineup, it's Rudiger playing, Marcus Alonso comes back in, Jorginho playing. They brought back Mason Mount. Timo Werner also started. So, Lucas, how do you rate Chelsea's performance over there? Do you think it's that new manager bounce?
I think it's the new manager bounce. Yes, we still have to see how his team starts to look. I think. Look, I'm a fan of Tuchel. I liked his Dortmund team, and that I'm a fan of you. So I actually want to see it when it's working. But yeah, I think it's good. Look, Rudiger, German international, top quality player. He was 5th choice under things. So to bring that guy back in, he's got another chance. Marcos Alonso was completely out. Azpilicueta. These are players that have done things, for Chelsea even and in their careers. So I think it's good. I think Kante, he gets the ball, but he can't pass. So put somebody next to him. He won the league that way twice.
Yes.
Okay. I have nothing much to say about that game. I still feel it's early on for Thomas Tuchel's managerial career at what you call this thing, Chelsea. But then let's go on to the other game that we played. Saturday, Leeds, my second team of the season, beat Leicester 3-1.
He's his Burnley.
Respect.
Scoring a goal and assisting. Is it same old Leeds? I never know what team is going to turn up on the day. Could lose 4-0, could beat you 6-0.
I'd actually go so as to say that Leicester were missing their vital player in Jamie Vardy, who's out with a hernia.
He's an old man. They might have to replace him.
And just as vital as Vardy,
still scoring.
Ndidi also. Just as they were also missing Ndidi.
So you see, they were missing players in vital positions. I think also they had an injury in defense, if I'm not mistaken, where they had to change, and Soweto had to come back.
During the game or before the game?
No, during the game. I think Soweto was the early subs. Yes, Timothy Castaneer got injured, and then essentially they didn't have a left back. So yeah, I feel as though it was quite tough for Leicester because they had to do a lot of adjusting. But we can't take it away from Leeds as well. Patrick Bamford was spectacular. He assisted twice and scored. You can't.
Southgate saying he's been watching his performances and he could get an England call up if they do Euro 2021.
Same thing with Grealish. I really hope he doesn't move. I really hope he learned from his past mistakes where he was at Chelsea and things didn't work out. I hope he stays there and doesn't move to a big team because he's doing well where he is.
Yeah. And this is his first season in the Prem. The rest of his career has been lower down. So.
Yeah.
They were even saying that no, he has played in the Prem before at 4 other clubs where he did nothing. He basically came off the bench and then scored, so he didn't get much.
Yeah, he's been around.
He's been around, so he was at 4 clubs in the Prem. Because I think he's 26 this year, so he's a Chelsea Youth Academy player. Right, let's move on to our final 2 games that we're going to talk about before we start talking about transfers over there. Looking at Liverpool beating West Ham 3-1. Our West Ham's run of luck fixtures over.
He's salivating. You know he is. Carry on.
Back on form.
I'm not gonna undermine your schedule.
How did Sichik do? So let's talk about Liverpool's performance in this game. That's a second game where they scored 3 goals, which means they have found a form in front of goal. No more missing the chances that they put away. Lucas was right about Salah. I apologize. Salah still wastes chances to me, but he put away 2 clinical chances over there. How do you rate that performance from Liverpool again? Considering they did beat Tottenham 3 days before that, 3-1.
I think they are on a good run of form. Good for them. They look like champions, even though that they had some obstacles to overcome with injuries. I think Matip actually got injured in that game.
Also until the end of the season, or for a long time at least.
Yes. Okay. So it's out until the end of the season. And yeah, it was a good result for Liverpool.
Matip played that game. I think it was Matip didn't play.
Or was it the guy? He might have got injured in the game before then.
Yes.
We're saying his injury is recent.
Essentially, the injury was an obstacle that they had to overcome. Jordan Henderson had to head back. And Nathaniel Phillips, that's the one that looks like Van Dijk, no?
I think that's Williams. That's Rice Williams that looks like Van Dijk.
Nathaniel Williams is the rugged white boy. But he's good. He actually has had great performances, considering his role in the squad. But good performance from Liverpool. James Milner back in the side. I think maybe that is what they needed. Since Henderson and Fabinho have moved to the defense, they needed someone who's reliable in the midfield to kind of control things. As you mentioned, you said that Thiago has been moved to more of
they played a midfield diamond.
Yes.
I think Mane doesn't start that game. He's not even in the 18. Remember, they've got City coming up, so it's also some changes before City.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's move on. Oh, no, let's not move on. Let's talk about a couple of players that I feel stood out in that game. How did you rate Alexander-Arnold's performance in that game?
Wait. How did you rate Salah's?
Salah, I told you he had a good game. He scored 2 goals.
Okay.
So the people who had good games, according to Uncle Curtis, Mohamed Salah,
the top scorer in the league, who was questioned last week.
he will still be questioned for that amount of chances he misses. Okay, Salah, I'll say James Miller had a decent game. Thiago had a decent game. And then as well as Trent Alexander-Arnold, who had the second Salah assist, I think, had a decent game. I forgot who assisted for the third goal.
Shaqiri was 1 to Salah.
Yeah.
So
how did you rate his performance over there?
Trent.
Yeah, Trent. Let's start with Trent.
Trent's performance was good. I think the diamond in midfield helps Liverpool's fullbacks, right? Mm-hmm. Because obviously they get more space on the outside, so I think that was good for him. But he's slowly coming back into form. Just at the same time, Liverpool is. So I think he did quite well.
Okay. Potion, any final words on Liverpool?
Nothing really. I'm just happy for the guys.
Mm-hmm. Coming back to some form also.
Yeah, it looked like they were lost for a bit there, but it seemed Klopp, showing his quality as a manager, sorted that problem out quite quickly. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you just have to give it to them.
Okay, and then we are back at title contending Tottenham Hotspurs. I have to rub this into Lucas every time I get guys. Right? They lost to Brighton Hove Albion 1-0. Right? Without Harry Kane, the cheat, the dive. How do you feel about Tottenham, guys? Do you think it's all going to fall apart? Do you think Mourinho will salvage the season and they'll still finish in the top 6? Or if you think if Harry Kane is out for the rest of the season, Tottenham won't finish top 6? Let's start with Potion over here.
I think Harry Kane is a vital piece to Tottenham's success. If he's not there, I don't see Tottenham succeeding. It's that simple. We forget that when Son was having that great run of form, who was giving him those assists? I think Harry Kane is still top of the assists right now.
He might be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So essentially, I feel as though this is not gonna, like, everything is gonna change now that Harry Kane is not there. It seems as though they've opted for Gareth Bale to be Harry Kane's replacement.
Don't you feel he's past his best?
I wouldn't say that. I feel as though he hasn't got many opportunities. Mourinho should have actually given Gareth Bale time to fit into the team, but he chose not to. And now we're here.
Do we believe that he's not showing the performances that he needs in training? Because Mourinho wants you to work hard in training before you get on the pitch for him. Do you think maybe he's not doing enough in training to warrant a place in the team?
Yeah, I'd probably say that as well. But you're not, what's his name? You're not like 5-time Champions League winners, bro. You have no right to be so rigid. Like, Gareth Bale just came from a Champions League winning squad. You're not even going to try give him a chance?
I hear you pushing on that, but we're talking about a Gareth Bale who basically only played in finals because he was injured throughout the season.
No, I get what you're saying, but now he's fresh. He did have an injury.
And let's also not forget he's coming from a very tactical Spanish league where it's not very physical. So the English Premier League is very physical. He might not be the same player to ride those tackles anymore.
But you see, now, look at where they are now. They need him. That pride got you here. He should have played, in my opinion, Gareth Bale should have been playing more games than he has.
Okay, fair enough. I believe that you are talking more on hope over there. That Gareth Bale will do well more than...
And also, let's not forget that this is not the first time that Harry Kane gets injured during this period. It's actually happened quite a bit.
Every season for a while.
I understand not being superstitious and not planning for it. But if it's happened I think 3 or 4 times that he gets injured in January, why not make a plan for it?
Okay. But let's go look into some of the stats of the game. Mourinho had more possession. Mourinho had more touches of the ball. Mourinho had more passes. Mourinho had less tackles. Mourinho had more clearances. Mourinho had less corners, and they were level on fouls. Do you believe, Lucas, that Mourinho doesn't know how to dominate a game when he's got more ball possession? Which is why you're looking at a stat like Brighton have 5 shots on target compared to 4s of Tottenham, and they have double amount of shots compared to Tottenham's.
So not that he doesn't know how to dominate a game. I think Mourinho builds his team by covering his weakness, right? Mm-hmm. So this Tottenham team is a lot more of a defensive team than we've seen from Mourinho in quite a long time, because they hold his defense or their defense is not necessarily the one. So for me, they're not scoring goals and they'll struggle with goals, but look at how they're conceding nowadays. And is it Joe Rodon or something coming into the team? Says Aurier and Matt Doherty, not sure what they're doing. Left back is changing again, so Sokka's out of the team. So I think he's going to focus on fixing the clean sheets again before the Kane, but obviously they'll struggle to score goals.
The other thing that I find very weird, well, not very weird, strange, is now that Harry Kane is injured, it's become clear that Jose Mourinho is intentionally freezing out Dele Alli. It's very weird because Dele Alli is a very good player, so I don't know what is going on between there, because there were transfer rumors that Dele Alli was going to head out, but it seems as though it didn't happen. So yeah, I don't know what's going on, because he's still a quality player.
Yeah, I think he's a good quality player.
Can he play as a striker though? Can he play as a striker though?
Not play as a striker, but obviously come into the midfield and creative, do the creative duties, and maybe push Son up front.
Fair enough.
Then let's wrap the show up by going on to transfers, guys. January transfer window just closed. Let's start with Tottenham. Right, as Potion just said over there, there were rumors of Dele Alli going to PSG, back to his former manager Mauricio Pochettino, where he just lost against Lorient. Can't believe that team started losing with them. But when you look at Tottenham's signings, guys, I'm going to start an agenda. If Pochettino goes to Spain and doesn't win League One this season, guys.
Like Emre.
Guys, I'm going to start telling you the fraud that he is. He will never win a trophy. If you can't win a trophy with PSG, you're never going to win a trophy. Right? But when you look at Tottenham's transfer dealings, they basically just let out a bunch of young kids on loan. They kept Dele Alli. So do you think that Mourinho missed out on a chance to bring a player in, considering that he did know that Kane was injured on the Thursday game and he'll be out for a while? Should they bought another striker? Should he give more chances to Vinicius Jr. or Gareth Bale? How would you rate the transfer dealing business so far?
I think it's very unfortunate in like the times that we're in, because I don't think, this is apparently the lowest transfer market, the lowest amount that's been spent in the transfer market since like 2012.
I think it was 87 million.
Yes. So essentially that's the amount that was spent during this transfer window. We don't have, most teams in the Premier League, most teams in the world don't have money because, fans have been kind.
Yeah, that's why you see a million loan deals.
Yes. So now it's just loan deals. He probably tried to do this, but he didn't have many options.
Lucas?
Yes.
Do you think I think missed out over there?
Not really, because I think he spent in the summer. So I think even if they expected fans to be back and gate receipts or whatever, I don't think they would have expected to spend in January. Remember the summers: Bale, Reguilon, Højbjerg, Doherty, and the list goes on. You know what I mean? So I think they strengthened quite a bit then.
Okay, fine. Then let's move on to Southampton next. They took a Liverpool player on loan, Minimal. Do you think he will do well at Southampton, considering that in for Southampton is just that one loan deal for taking to Minimal, and then they also got Shane Long out at the same time. He went to Bournemouth for the rest of the season on loan. How do you feel about their transfer dealings over there?
I think Minimal needs this more than anyone else, because we've started to doubt his quality. Even though we haven't seen much of it, We saw a glimpse of it when he still played for Salzburg. And they were
Next
giving
to Haaland.
Yes, where they were giving Liverpool trouble. So I think it'll be a good time for him to show us his potential.
Is it Liverpool just sending him out on loan to Southampton so that he can learn to play like Southampton, so they can bring him back to Liverpool, like they like signing Liverpool players?
Yes. Ralf Rangnick is like the godfather of German football. He set up RB Leipzig, which is
fair point. And that it'll be a good experience for him. They'll probably have he'll have a good experience there. So
Then let's move on to West Ham. West Ham brought in they signed Saeed Berhama on permanent from Brentford, and they signed Lucas's favorite Manchester United player, Jay Lingard, the Emirates dancing menace.
Yeah.
How do you feel about those signings for West Ham? Do you think they will give them the push, Jesse Lingard, to keep them where they are for what's his manager again?
David Moyes.
David Moyes, to get into the top 4 like he did with Everton once and never did it again?
Not top 4, but I think it's a good signing for them. I think, look, where's the West Ham supposed to finish? I think they would have been happy with just top half of the table. So if we're looking at it that way, I think they're still good. Good.
They're fifth.
No, I'm saying from their expectations. So
No, but I'm just saying that they're fifth. Not arguing with you, but essentially just saying they're fifth. No one would have expected this.
And I think Jesse Lingard's a good player. I think if he can hit near the levels that he gave for about 3 seasons, he just didn't give it for long, unfortunately. But when he did give it, he was a good player in the league.
Okay, fair enough. Then let's look at West Brom over here. They brought in a player from Celta Vigo. I can't pronounce that. Yoksula. I think he's a Nigerian name. Sorry to the Nigerian fans out there. And then they brought in Robert Snodgrass and Niles from Arsenal Potion. How do you think those players will be enough to help them fight?
Snodgrass also.
They brought Snodgrass.
Oh, okay. From where was he?
West Ham.
West Ham, yeah.
West Ham. Not even on loan, on permanent. It was Niles on loan.
He wasn't getting games.
Yeah.
I think Snodgrass got essentially kicked out by Bowen, because Bowen essentially had his debut season and it's been brilliant. And then that essentially forced Snodgrass out. But to that, I think West Brom actually have a great signing or great loan deal in Maitland-Niles. He's been a great player. He's a utility player as well. So I think he'll fit in nicely at West Brom. Try solve problems wherever they have.
We don't see him going the Serge Gnabry route.
No.
Like games that West Brom to go back to us to get sold to another club in any banks.
Yeah, look, when I was seeing on the news, I saw that he was saying that he's picky about he sees himself as a midfielder. Where's he been playing at Arsenal, right back and wing back and whatever. So he says so it looks like making those choices because he's going to play in midfield. So
it'll be a good experience for him.
I've not seen him in a Premier League midfield. I don't know.
He's Newcastle.
Could be anything for me.
Joe Willock. He will get some decent game time over there. And then let's talk about Manchester United and their signing. They brought in, over here, Amad Diallo.
Oh, during the whole window. Oh, sorry.
He came in January, so he's at the club.
Yeah.
You might have signed him back in September, but he's at the club now.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you think he got an under 23 game and he scored 2 goals, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
You see him breaking into the team and taking Rashford's position with better finishing.
Look, I think he's a good signing from all accounts, but he doesn't have that much first team experience, so I'm not expecting anything from him this season. I think he will play. I think he will play some games here and there. And what I like about him, he's more of a creator. You know, Rashford and Martial or whatever, they want to just run and take the shots. He wants to run in and create, but he's 18. Yes, he's a talent by all accounts, but who knows?
Okay. And then let's go on to Liverpool. They brought in Ben Davies and Ozan Kabak. Schalke. How do you feel about their business? Has this manager done it again with finding a young UK talent in Ben Davies from a lower league team like they did with Robertson on the wing over there as a defender? Do you think Ben Davies and Ozan Kabak will help them through to the end of the season?
I'll start with Ozan Kabak. I think that signing was a little bit more. Fortunately, it's a loan deal. I think it's a bit of a panic deal because I don't think that's a solution to their problems. Because if you look at the team that Kabak came from, he's from Schalke. Schalke is currently last on the Bundesliga. They have the worst defensive record.
And they just signed Mustafi.
Yes. They have the worst defensive record. They've conceded, I think, 9 goals more than the worst defensive side. So, I don't know, he's a good player because he's from Turkey, he's a Turkish international, but clearly there's a problem. Maybe we can put that to, the coaching of Schalke. But I think, that one could actually not work out for Klopp. I think the one where Liverpool would be more positive would probably be Ben Davies.
From Preston.
He's from Preston.
League what? In which league?
Preston North End might be in the Championship.
Championship or League One, yeah.
Yes. Okay, Lucas, any your thoughts on those two signings?
So I think it's okay because Liverpool have signed their 4th and 5th options at centre backs. Remember, they might get games now, but end of the season, Joe Gomez is back, Virgil van Dijk is back, Matip is back, proven guys, plus Milner can play in central defence, Fabinho. I don't even think they need these guys to shine. It's just they had nothing left at centre back. So if these guys turn out to be something good, hunky dory, but if not, you get 3 good defenders back next season.
Okay.
It's a no lose.
Let's go on to the final club that will touch in terms of transfers. In terms of Arsenal, they have bought in Omar Rakik, Matt Ryan from Brighton on loan, because they saw they made a mistake with Renison. And then Martin Odegaard, the Norwegian wonder kid from Real Madrid on loan. And then a lot of business out. Koscielny out on loan. Okay. Saliba out on loan. Daniel Ballard out on loan. Matt Macy to Albania. Socrates released. Ozil to Fenerbahce, topping the Turkish league over there. Matt Smith to Charlton. And then Mustafi out. Niles to West Brom. Willock to Newcastle. Do you think Arteta is just clearing out all the players he didn't want in September, August, and now he can look forward and just brought in 1 or 2 players to shore up the deficiencies in the squad?
I think Arteta has done well from a point of view where he's cleared out a lot of the wage space that didn't make sense. He's cleared out Kolasinac, he's cleared out Mustafi, Socrates. For your sake, I won't mention Ozil.
They gave him that contract. He deserved every penny.
Oh, right now.
It doesn't matter about now.
Does he deserve 300,000 right now?
It doesn't matter about now.
But that's my point, is that they've cleared up useless wage space.
It wasn't useless wage space.
He was useless.
That man was saving kids in Africa. He'll always get my
He can save kids in Africa. He can join Bill Gates, bro. It's fine. But my point is that
he was busy feeding kids in England and saved Gunnosaurus. He's a legend in my eyes.
No, he's not Rashford.
He's better than Rashford. He's out here busy doing...
Rashford has an MBE. Respect that, man.
It's only because he's English.
But he was feeding kids, bro. Respect them.
Ozil was out here busy saving kids, man.
Yeah. And he saved a mascot.
And he saved the mascot. Gunnosaurus, though. There's no soul when you fire a mascot. Gunnosaurus. Can you imagine? Lucas, how do you feel that transfer deal is? Do you think Arteta and Edu were more worried about getting players out that they didn't want to get a better vibe in the dressing room and just bring in 1 or 2 places to see where they made a mistake in terms of the goalkeeper signing and creativity, so we don't rely on Smith Rowe?
No, I think it's just if you look at the positions they got rid of versus who they bought in the summer, because in the summer you buy Gabriel, you buy Saliba, and now you get rid of Mustafi. You buy Tierney, you get rid of Kolasinac. You get Odegaard, you let Willock go out and get some games. I think he's keeping the squad. I think he's just getting rid of players he wasn't going to use anyway. So as for the summer, I think Odegaard's a good signing because that number 10 position is a hole for you guys. Emil Smith Rowe, look, he's played a handful of games. We don't know. You know what I mean? To me, he looks good, but he also looks like he can be a form player. So once Arsenal drops points again, or there's a Man City game and that kind of thing, I don't know how much you can rely on that guy. But Odegaard, I mean, last season he came back to Real Madrid after having a fantastic season at Real Sociedad. And he had quite a good season at Real Sociedad. He was really controlling that midfield. And that, so he was playing well, and he's a talented player. He has the talent. Physicality, I don't know about, because this is a back to front league, but in that number 10 position, Partey will clean a lot of the physicality up so that you can play. So I think it's a good signing.
Okay, and then
sorry, long sentence, but
no problem. How, guys? Any final words as we come to the end of the podcast? Where do we see teams finishing in the league? Let's just take a look at the league table before we sign up over here. Just give me a second, guys, over here. Where do we see? It's obviously, what's this team now? City at top of the league, right?
The next fixture against Liverpool.
Okay,
it's the clash of everyone's favourites coming up on the weekend.
When you look at the table, it's the two Manchester clubs at top. One of them is a fraud and don't belong there, but that's besides the point.
On top of the real club in what? On top of the great club in what?
I have no comments. And in third place, we have Liverpool, who should be above Man United, but had a dip and fall.
Sure.
Right. Then we have Leicester, West Ham, Tottenham, Chelsea on 33 points, Everton, Aston Villa, Arsenal, and that rounds up the top half of the table.
Where's Arsenal?
10.
Okay, never mind. I'm genuinely asking. Like after that many wins.
Don't forget, there are other teams that game in hands, and Everton and Aston Villa won on the weekend, so they jumped us again.
Okay.
And we drew, right? Because, but that's the point. But then, how do you see the table ending up, Potion? Which teams are going to finish where? Let's get our predictions. Give me top 4 predictions, Potion.
I think if I look at that table right now, I think it might be City number 1, Liverpool number 2, United number 3. I'll give you that. You guys are having a good season. If you guys implode on yourselves, that's on you. It could happen. That would be pleasant for me.
That'll be lovely.
Number 4, I feel as though that's the position that's open for anyone. But in that number 4 position, I feel as though it's Leicester. It's Tottenham. Although I don't rate them, in that race. It'll be Leicester, Tottenham, and Chelsea. West Ham actually flip. Let me not cut West Ham out. I'll make it 4. Yeah.
And your boys?
West Ham's been having a silently good season. They've won 4 in their last 5 games. They've won 4 games and lost 1.
What about the jersey you're wearing?
That's my team.
But top 4?
No.
How many wins in the last how many games?
No, be realistic.
Second best defensive record of the season.
It doesn't mean anything. We don't. Our attack doesn't match up.
Okay, fine. Let's move on to Lucas. Your top 4 of the season.
Yeah, so I think it's City and Liverpool are going to start to pull away now, because those are the teams that can go on consecutive wins, right? I then think 3 and I think it's playing out again like last season, and then 3 and 4 is whoever can stay close to Man City and Liverpool. I think United for them, I'm just happier the closer we end to Manchester City and Liverpool. But I don't think United would win it. And I think Chelsea for 4th.
Where do you see United finishing?
3rd.
Okay.
Yeah, and I see Chelsea for 4th.
Chelsea for 4th. Okay, you want my top 4 predictions. City or Liverpool for the league, so they'll switch between 1 and 2. Chelsea in 3rd position, Arsenal in 4th position, United in 5th position. Because Bruno Fernandes likes going missing in big games. Okay. Yet again. That's my agenda for the next podcast.
Who's going to wake up in Arsenal's big games to finish 4th?
Who's going to wake up? Aubameyang.
Okay.
Like he won us the FA Cup last season.
Okay.
Thought I didn't have an answer, did you? Thought I didn't have an answer, did you?
No, I was just hoping you'd say Rob Holding or something like that.
Rob Holding is the man, box.
That's how I'm afraid. He's having a good season, just like
Fred. Except for that, he's number 1 in clearances and everything defensive-wise. Fred is just there pressing people.
Fair enough. Luke Shaw's creating chances. I'm happy.
Right, but that calls it for another episode of the Nothing But Football podcast. We're tabletop in United. We're on top for 2 weeks, but now are falling down the league table. We're back to where they belong. An Arsenal fan posted, lost faith in Arteta and doesn't believe Arsenal will finish in top 4. That's good for me, guys. Go ahead, Potion.
No, I'm not saying that I've lost faith that we'll reach top 4, but I'm saying looking at the table, if we're 10th, realistically, I can't expect us to end up in top 4.
But signing of the season, Gabriel. Signing of the season, Gabriel.
Who's not playing?
Potion. We are 10th, 2 points behind Spurs. How can you have Spurs above in the top 4 finish, but not us?
No, don't get me wrong. Spurs are they're in the top 4 race purely because they're 6th. So I can't eliminate them and put 10th place Arsenal.
We 1 game away from jumping them.
The thing is, we can talk after the next game. If we don't win, then it's another conversation because we'll be 2 games in hand there over Tottenham. Okay. Hence why I'm saying we can have this conversation next week and we can see how I feel.
Okay. Otherwise, that's it from us, guys. Nothing But Football podcast. Please do subscribe, like, give us some listens on Spotify, whatever platform you like enjoying to listen to it. Give us some comments. Let us know what you think, what the top 4 will finish like. That's it from me. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
We hasn't betting my league.